Do you know that they want to speak? Is it your place to speak for them?
Epstein was a talent. He did take form of Mar-a-Lago girls.
We know how to get it out of people.
I believe it will be brought up constantly. Hey everybody, we're a little happier as you can tell. We'll update everyone, but that stupid BS case with the attempted cult leader / definite criminal is over with, so we can speak about that. And a lot of people feel empowered to talk. We might get some interference from the cats, but I have a meeting in a little while, so we're just going to let it run. So you might see that she's the true animal, whatever.
Well, don't say that.
Animal assaulter.
Let them run with that, because I'm the one that's the
She just don't like the cats.
Toss it.
She don't like the cats, but I
smell.
love the cats. They do smell, though. But we're talking about Ghislaine. Gillen, as her brother says. Ghislaine. And whether or not she should get a deal. We make deals with monsters. Sammy the Bull responsible for, 17 to 21 murders, I think. And
yeah, he's like endearing to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah,
now.
they freaking love him, dude. And he got a deal, and then he screwed up, and I think they let him go. And so...
his kids took the fall for a lot of that.
Yeah, and this is very much... it ends up being tied to a Trump thing to a lot of people. So, we'll just talk about it. Like, I always look at things like... And I think it's the main thing that matters is, like, how does something affect the culture? I'm into the anthropology, and I look at it as big chunks of time. So it doesn't necessarily be like what the opinion of the general population is right now. It could mean, like, it causes a policy to happen that changes things in 10 years. So 20, 50 years even.
Which is exhausting to think about, but...
So as far as her giving a real statement, I know she's given a statement, and we'll talk about that, but does anyone actually believe that this is a true effort to get her to give the absolute complete truth?
Of course not.
Yeah, or that she'll give the absolute complete truth? I
mean, neither one of those things would be true if you'd be lying to yourself if you really thought that. Neither one of those things. She's not going to give the absolute truth. Of course. Do people like that ever? No. I mean, why? Why would she?
They're a bit narcissistic.
Yeah.
They tend to be a narcissist. But and like I do feel like this is somewhat a he gave us something situation.
Oh, absolutely.
As far as Trump is concerned. But I do think he said, okay, I'm tired of hearing about this. Just go. And I don't think that it was untrue when she said that she didn't see him having any
inappropriate contact or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the truth. She did seem like she was telling the truth, and then also, I don't believe she's getting anything out of this right now. So, and it wouldn't benefit her.
Security prison, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I think that was only for the interview.
I'm not sure. I assumed that she was just there with the Theranos girl.
Oh, yeah. The Theranos girl.
Yeah.
But we are beholden to these people like, tell me sweet little lies. But with Trump, I hate to say it, I think we mentioned it in another episode, it's been a little dishonest on his part because it went from essentially, I barely know the guy, to like where he did take form of Mar-a-Lago girls. Like, I just remembered. I mean, but then again... You might have to stress the truth a little bit when it comes to the Epstein name, because even if I was somehow like, yeah, he met him once and shook his hand, and the next person at the game of telephone would be like, yeah, man, he was like really tight with Epstein, and I mean, they
had sleepovers all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's really bad, like just to even have your name in the same sentence, which is funny because like everyone's name now can be kind of. Pretty much.
Well, and if we want to be real here, and I'm not giving Trump or anybody an out, but I mean, it's just the truth that it doesn't matter really what he says or what she says about him or like what's given to us that's ever going to look like it's in his favor or whatever. It'll never be good enough. So whatever he does will never be good enough for our side, their side, your side, his side, her side, anybody's side. Someone's always going to be like, oh, well, he didn't do this. And, oh, my God, he did that. And so, I mean,
it's a little bit to be expected because there's like always distrust for leadership. But this is like a happy anniversary after being told it's your anniversary.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. But I mean, at least there is something, and there was a trust that he wasn't one of them, as far as Trump, like part of the swamp.
Yeah.
You know, okay, he might have been corrupt in business, according to some people. They're never going to change their mind. He might have been a bad person, all of those things, but it was never like he's part of the establishment.
Yeah, at least not that one.
And people say, you know, basically, if you had dealings with this guy, you're part of the establishment, and now he's looked at that way because people like Dave Smith, like the libertarians and stuff, who kind of joined. We've talked about that too. Like all these different groups joined the Republican vote and basically the conservative movement as a way to combat the left and how much of our rights are being infringed and how the country just went to crap. People like him going forward, he's basically denounced Trump. And it's not about him, but there's a lot of people like him. These libertarians and stuff, they're like, dude, we don't want a swamp candidate. We don't want a leader that's from that group of people.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but that does mean, if you're looking at it from the political point, there could be some love lost by people that were just kind of hanging on, like, let's watch and see what he does.
Yeah.
This friggin' topic is more important than the topic of world war or world peace.
Just crazy.
To most people. Look at Bat staring at me. He's like, he'll be my critic. I'll watch his facial expression. He just narrowed his eyes at me. But yeah, they're basically seeing like that he's not the people's champ, is the way they see it. And even the left is like subconsciously disappointed, you know, because it's like, dang, he's just one of us. What's going to come out of him dealing with people on the left and being friendly and stuff? Oh God, he's like grouped in with our hero, Bill Clinton, which is wild that he's like a hero to this point.
I don't believe that stuff about him, but anyway.
Now I feel like he's not a movement anymore. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's not. That ship sailed after the election, not too long after that, actually. So.
Yeah, it may have. I think the sentiment is still there with a lot of people, but they'll need someone that fills that spot.
It is. It's just like we want America to be great again, you know. We'd like to keep that going, but
you know what it does is it gives him a lower standard.
It does, yeah.
Now he just has to be what is considered a good president compared to other presidents, rather than like this big, great leader and everything. I do think that for the most part, he's doing an okay job, but this isn't really about that. This is about, should she get a deal? Now, if she gets a deal politically, I think it would obviously hurt Trump, and that some of that would rub off on the Republican Party.
Yeah.
But the left has had to be
anyway, though.
They've had to be kind of quiet about this issue. So it's not to say that it'll help them either, but I do think it'll affect things a little bit, especially if the left has a candidate that they're going to run who may have some ties to this guy or anything like that. I don't think they do, but you know, it's really Israel. It's really a lot of other things, but this isn't even about trafficking or his possible involvement. This proves that his fumbles aren't fumbles. It's another politician kind of throwing the game.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean the deal. I mean the process that happened. Like, are we still talking about this? And people are like, you know, but the fact of the matter is, do we think that despite Trump being the president, okay, number one, will it hurt? It's not going to hurt his legacy, because grand scheme, looking back on it, it won't be that big of a thing.
Yeah.
And he'll be out of office before she even before anything could ever like bounce back at him or anything like that. So, but it could hurt things a little bit. Politically, probably kind of a bad idea. So if people feel like their leaders are quote unquote against trafficking, and elites sharing and keeping gross secrets and using that as bargaining chips for their lives, like, yes, like it should be done. And some people will believe that, you know, something will accidentally come out on some person they hate, and I'll be punished. So that is a plus. There will be a scapegoat.
Oh, there's always a scapegoat. There might be a few in this case.
Yeah, she talks. There will be some sort of a scapegoat. As we're saying in that first part, basically, there will be people who are cleared, maybe when they shouldn't be. Politically, it won't really hurt Trump, but it might take a point or two away from the Republicans. Like, you aren't what we thought you were as far as the people in the middle and stuff like that. And even though it's moved on to all these other things, I believe it will be brought up constantly.
Oh, it will
in the next
forever.
election.
Yeah, it will. It's just like January 6th. It's a buzzword now.
Yeah, and people are like, there goes midterms.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as you said this, now it has moved on to more important things. However, I think it'll still be like it'll still be like a huge thing. So I mean, the moderates, it's like they'll be like, "I told you so." They're all the same, but what's up with the economy?
Mm-hmm.
So I actually kind of like the moderates. The Q sycophants are going to be like, dude, it's all part of the plan, bro.
Trust, it's all,
This is 48D chess that Trump's playing.
Or whatever the fuck they say.
Oh my God, dude. You guys are crazy.
White
like, the Q people are crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like okay with like some of your topics, but man.
Yeah.
Don't group me.
Because they would be the first ones, obviously. That's kind of interesting. They would be the first ones to say that this Epstein thing is huge, like the elites, the trafficking, all this stuff.
In the same breath, they'll be the same ones to say, no, it's fine, trust, they're good.
Good with Trump.
Good. It's like...
But I will give them this. They've done more deep diving on this topic than probably anyone.
Anybody, yeah.
So if they say Trump ain't involved, they might be right.
The world wouldn't know this topic in the manner that it does, and that's a good and bad thing without them. So
damn, here I am thinking out loud though. Like as far as the Q people, I remember when they were still kind of big, but I think they had just done that documentary on them, and they were basically, it might have been infiltrated, but they were somewhat not against Trump, but they basically were let down at one point. So I don't know.
Sorry, that was my cat.
There goes the cat. There goes the abuse. The far left just basically is like Trump had an orgy with Epstein and tranny Lucifer and F. Diddy and Piers Morgan taped it. And, that's where they're at. So it doesn't matter. So once again, like with any other topic, Q sycophants don't matter. No. The far left doesn't matter. The moderates matter. Most of them are like, what's up with so in other words, if Trump performs reasonably well, like we said, it won't take too much away. But there is the issue of, if you give her a deal, does it set a precedent? The next big case that people are crying about, yelling about, screaming about, does that person get a deal too, and they use her as a precedent?
Well, they will. In any, it's all the same thing. I'm literally going to repeat myself probably 20 times here. It's the exact same thing with that as it is with the rest of the topic. They will use her as an example of, we set a precedent doing that. It doesn't matter. We can't win.
Court is a place of precedents. Like, that's the way our court system develops. As much as people like to say it sticks to the Constitution. Cases progress, precedents are set, things change. And yeah, I do believe that there's a chance that precedents could be changed for other individuals if you give her this deal.
Be like, she got a deal, so shouldn't we give this person a deal? Like, we gave her a deal. I mean, look what happened now.
So is that a good idea? Because if you get another so-called trafficker to give up a bunch of other elites, isn't that a good idea?
Well, that's the problem.
That's why this is touchy.
This trafficker thing. It's like, I don't even want to dive into that here. But
we can.
We don't have time.
I mean, so as far as politically, yes, it's somewhat of a bad thing. Morally, and also I guess you could say judicially, it could lead to some bad things. Of course, we want the biggest of the big taken down, but I don't really believe that. See, here's where it sets a precedent that I'm somewhat okay with, because if it brings down some traffickers and it leads to other traffickers and all of that, great.
It's not going to, though.
No, and that's what I was going to say. I don't think they're not the type of traffickers that they've been made out to be. It seems to me from stuff I've taken in and kind of analyzed and all of that Ghislaine carried on the spy tradition of her family. Epstein was a talent. He was given girls just like rock stars are giving girls on tour. However, obviously, they were kind of more, they weren't just at one tour date messing with them.
Yeah.
They were like, you know,
Following around.
kind of enslaved, you know. However, while they were, several of them were underage, or at least a few of them, they weren't, you're hearing stuff like Pam Bondi say, children, literal children, and doing this, and like it's 8-year-olds. And I don't think you'll find any of that through the Epstein thing. I don't think that there's any tie-in to that level of a thing. And if there was, maybe it was from Epstein. I don't think Ghislaine's about that life. I think Ghislaine was more about power. You know, like basically, like we talked about before, kind of being a part of arms deals and spying and the intelligence community and and just making Epstein happy because he was the talent, as everyone who is associated with him says. Even the ones that admit their own wrong deeds, they admit that he was an expert at making money vanish and knowing where to put it. So I don't know that the trafficking that we want from setting a precedent like this is the type we'll find.
It's not. I don't think it is at all. And that's not, you know, to say that what they're doing isn't absolutely disgusting and horrible on many levels, whatever the details of it may be. It's all disgusting and horrible.
Right.
And, you know, you should be punished for all of it. But it's not what people are probably picturing it as.
I don't think so.
I mean, I can't say it enough that it really takes away from people who are actual, you know, victims of these types of things.
Oh, I'm glad you
said victims. The way that we talk about it at all, it's just...
The first thing we'd usually jump to, especially you, like the way you look at this, with like, okay, what is it morally? Yeah, you would probably say in a situation like this, you would say victims won't get justice. But do these victims care? Do they want her to get a deal so that she's, you know, people around her brought down, like, they haven't been very, well, the ones that are alive haven't been vocal.
They're completely, as much as people want to say that this is about them, it's not. It's not. They're completely forgotten about, to be honest. You can sit here and say all day that you're, you know, oh, we need to do this because how dare they hurt these people and we need to protect these kids or these girls or whatever. And it doesn't, you're completely taking away from them by making it the big, giant, blown-up thing that it's been made into, by making it all political, by making it this big argument on social media every second of every day.
Let's bring this guy's name into it. Like, that's all they care about.
Oh, this celebrity or that politician or whatever. These victims are forgotten about, really. And it's like, well, no, it's all about them. Have you heard many of them speak? Do you know that they want to speak? Is it your fucking place to speak for them?
Do any of you people advocating one way or the other, give her the deal because we want to find more traffickers or whatever, don't give her the deal because she's horrible for being a part of this thing? Do you know their names? Do you know the victims' names?
Her. It should be about the victims, what's right for them, right?
Right.
Well, no, you have made it, and America has made it to where we, as American people, of the left or right or fucking whatever, we are the victims.
Right.
We're the victims.
Right.
But we're not that. We're not. So, you know, it's all...
They should, yes, you actually literally have it in there. They should choose. Not from social pressure, not from political pressure. They are being forgotten. But even if they choose yes, as far as go after her as hard as you can, don't give her the deal. Giving the deal is still immoral. However, here's one of my notes that I'm kind of back and forth on throughout this thing already. I am about the deal. I think you should do the deal. And the reason is, number one, so people shut up about this thing. People will, like we said, say, well, she didn't tell the truth, this, that, and the other. But I think she'll give just enough, a new person, maybe a person on the left and the right, so people are kind of satisfied about it. And she'll give enough to where they can draw conclusions about other people. It's literally like gossip and entertainment. That's what it is at this point.
Is just the next episode. And it's really sad, and it really screws shit up for people like me and other people who actually, you know, want to do work in this field. It makes it really difficult. So, I don't know. That's all people care about is just the next, you know, the next Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, if you're that bored, that sucks, but...
There is a little chance that by them giving her a deal, some of it, will fall on Trump, at least in the eyes of the public. Somebody else will get in trouble that's important. So he talked about draining the entire swamp. This would be a way to do that, or at least more of the swamp. I feel like we need to get people off of this topic. I feel that in most instances like this, being charged with what she's charged with, this is supposed to be about our judicial system and fairness and things like that. She probably would get the deal even if she wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
They give light sentences for this stuff.
Very light.
And it was embarrassing how they went after Diddy when he did a business deal with the powers that be, or sued them or whatever, made himself an enemy of the powers that be, because they jumped right into this crazy, like all these kids running around in his house and this, that, and the other, to where they couldn't prove none of that. They exaggerated all of that. So they gave him a deal by a bad prosecution.
Well, yeah, even if even if the worst of the worst stuff that they were saying about Diddy was true, which I don't know, could be. I wasn't there, but they had no way to prove any of it that they threw out there, and it's like, well,
they just thought they would like maybe taint the jury pool so much with horrible information that
it's a disgrace.
It was a distraction.
We are not.
That's what I think.
As far as supposed to be the next. We're supposed to be like the next level of, catching these people, especially, people with big names that have protection. We're supposed to be catching these people who are hurting children, hurting innocent victims, and blah, blah, blah. And it's always with like sexual offenses, things like that, and abuse. But we're going backwards. People don't see that now, but you're going backwards. This is not helping anyone.
It's like, what do you get out of the deal? I mean, I just always have to look at it like it's numbers, or it's pretty binary. Well, it's a binary decision. But yes, it'll cause some negatives, but it may lead to a precedent that helps us. Basically, like nobody, if it leads to a good prosecution at some point, it'll be like nobody's above the law.
Yeah.
And I think it will. Like I said, there'll be a scapegoat just to calm people down. So I think that is a good idea for that point. I think that morally, it doesn't do that much damage.
It doesn't really. I mean, we already do horrible things on a daily basis. We've made deals with some of the worst people on the planet. You just don't hear about it because we're not all watching it on TV and talking about it.
Right, and that's what I was going to say is that if you look at, like, say, Biden's pardons, holy shit. Like, I mean, you're talking like the worst of the worst. Oh, my God. Crime families, traffickers, everything. So, it's not as though like you can make a moral argument that, oh my God, giving her this deal is so much worse than other things we do. No, realistically, logically, intellectually, it is not. So, and as far as setting a precedent, bad, all of that stuff, but also could lead to something good. And I just feel like she's done what, like 4 or 5 years. What was she given, like 15 or something?
I don't even know like what her actual sentence was.
Well, if you're talking morals, I guess you're talking about a fair judicial system. So if you're going to talk a judicial system, okay, well, she was caught trafficking people to whom?
Yeah, there needs to be a buyer.
So that's where I'm at with it. It's like if you give her a deal, does she deserve to do that much more time? And it really comes down to, let's say that it was morally a 15-year crime. So you're letting her off like 10 years. Are you going to get 10 years or more out of other bad guys? And I think that there's a chance of that because I think this is, and she blew her wad because of this at one point, but this is Pam Bondi's moment. I think that there will be another prosecution on someone else. Maybe a political enemy, but I think it will be somewhat accurate at least. So, I mean, I even think that with Prince What's-His-Name, they gave us what we would consider a big fish.
Oh, yeah.
But he had no responsibility in his job. Right. Right. So did the singer. And if they would actually...
I'd have been more upset about
Yeah, me too. So, I don't know. I know it sounds like we're back and forth, but it's because we're trying to give both sides, but it's like, oh, we don't negotiate with terrorists is something the country says, and it's like, well,
that's all we do.
We truly do. Sometimes
that's how wars get ended usually,
right, exactly, and sometimes it's the lesser of the two bad terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's a lesser, at least as far as what we have her on, because like I said, she trafficked to no one, You don't have much evidence, if any at all, on much of it.
And if you supposedly do, then
She's
again,
she's
where is it?
Weinstein, very
No.
much so, where he got prosecuted for crimes he didn't do, just to make him the scapegoat for the kind of Me Too thing.
Which is so unfortunate for so many people.
Yeah, and I think that punishing her more is almost unfortunate because it's not going to set a precedent the other way. Like, well, we gave Ghislaine 15 years, so somebody did this other bad thing, give them 100. That's not going to happen. It's still going to be the same regulations as far as like sentencing or whatever.
Why do you think that all these people that are sexual predators repeat offenses over and over and over? Because they might get probation, then they might get a year.
You're right.
And they might get 3 years at the max, 5 years at the very most, and that's pushing it. I mean, people getting real sentences on this type of stuff and that's people who are in their home, R-wording their families every day, and they get nothing. So I mean, you just people are really dense to this topic. Everyone thinks that they really know stuff about this and that and blah blah blah. Like no, you don't. You really don't. If you did, then you wouldn't yap so much about the things that you yap about. So
right,
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't like even talking about it because it makes me very angry.
Well, yeah, and I mean, again, we're basically it's been kind of downplayed, not by Trump not going after Epstein. It's been downplayed by the facts as far as like the elite cabal of abusers. They exist.
Yeah, they definitely exist.
But honestly, barking up this tree, I don't think is the key to it. I think the guy with the most information possibly on that is dead. I think that while she has intelligence on it, she's not going to give it, and she probably wasn't firsthand on most of it. She was, at least when she was alongside him, she was with him doing what they did, and it's pretty damn documented. And I know it sounds crazy that I'm sitting here saying, give a deal to this woman and that Epstein wasn't that bad. I'm saying he was absolutely horrible. I'm just saying that he's not really the big fish. He can't give you information because he's supposedly dead. I slipped and said supposedly. I'm not sure that he is. We don't get... Well, we will get a little bit of get back if she drops a few names. But I'm just saying that, man, like, if you went and got Sarah Kellen and got her to give up information, there's something that could be big.
Yeah.
Because most of the time with Ghislaine was kind of documented with Epstein, and we kind of know that wasn't what we're advertising it as. Like, her direct involvement with him ended in like 1999 or something.
People don't know that though.
And Sarah going forward, while she was supposedly a victim at the beginning, she ended up the one in charge and probably knew more about other people than even Epstein did, because she's the one making the commitments and setting it all up. Get her to talk. Maybe this sets a precedent for that. Maybe she gives her up. So she came in and took my place. Yeah. Go talk to her. I have one thing on her that could threaten her with a real sentence, and then boom, she talks. And then, like I said, you'll get somebody on the left, you'll get somebody on the right. It's going to balance itself out. This, unfortunately, is not the issue that we call it. It truly shouldn't be the number one issue. Unfortunately, it's not. I actually kind of wanted this to expose some stuff, and even if it does, it's going to take a really long time. Tripping on Trump about possibly giving her a deal for her to testify. Well, number one, he's getting to the truth like you want him to. And number two, seen a lot worse from Biden as far as giving people a break.
That's the only way we can get people to talk ever, even in like very small charges, is to give them a deal. Why do you think plea bargains are a thing?
Right. And my issue with this, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I want bigger things to be uncovered from stuff like this, from where our money and our consideration goes. No one's ever going to think about the money he laundered and for whom.
Yeah.
They're never going to talk about the weapons that he brokered deals for and was a part of, clearly, how much influence he had or helped to maintain with certain media people and other nations and Israel in general. Like, it's never going to happen. That's not going to come out from this. So I'm like, okay, leave it behind, give her a deal, maybe get some information on someone else. He gave her some time. set the precedent fine that if somebody has enough information, make her give a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I was going to snitch, which I never fucking would, and I'm not committing crimes currently, so, uh, but if I was, I know that they would have a burden. Like, I would have to give up a lot for them to guarantee a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I said she's not going to give a lot. Well, all of the stuff that we're saying predicated upon everything that we're saying as far as give her a deal, you may as well, is predicated. She'll have to give more.
Yeah.
Say, I don't think she'll have to give more than the average person would if they're ratting on their homeboy or something.
I mean, let's be real. If we really want her to give up like some serious information, we know how to get it out of people. For the love of God.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, come on. It's not.
Whatever could you mean?
I mean, the CIA can.
Well, the CIA is more in the erasing business.
I'm just saying, we can get anything out of anybody.
That's probably true.
It's not impossible in any way. So.
You know what's crazy is I agree with you, but when you say anything, I don't think it means everything because I think she knows so much about bigger things, but not hands-on, but knows enough about certain things that Jeffrey dealt with and things like that and can put two and two together because she's in a different world.
To give out enough information, but...
So you say give her a deal?
What choice do we really have in the matter? You fucking assholes out there, and I've cussed a million times. You know what? I don't care.
Whatever.
I cuss, okay? I cuss. If you don't like it, then don't watch me. We have no choice but to give her a deal at this point. Because you people out there have made it that way.
You people.
You have. You made it that way.
Well, I think at the end of this, Trump is a little more establishment than people thought, which was stupid because he's essentially a billionaire. So, of course, he was a little bit establishment. But he's not like the Illuminati. He's not a part of the elite's cabal. Like, he had his own shit predilections. He had his own business ways. He screwed Epstein over on a real estate deal. That's the reason they fell out. Trump is narcissistic enough to where he's not a part of this. And he also doesn't have like religious or he didn't have political purpose behind any of this. He would have walked away from something if A, he wasn't getting what he wanted, and B, it was for somebody else's beliefs that he didn't really agree with. Mm-hmm. So at the end of it, give her the damn deal because... A, compromise. Make her do another year. Make her stay in jail while she's giving all this information.
Give her another 5 or 10.
Right. And make it be useful information. So I know it sounds like a cop-out. It's like, yes, give her a deal, but make sure she gives a lot. No, I'm saying based on our judicial guidelines, or at least the status quo, people have to give a lot to be given a deal. Like Sammy the Bull that we brought up.
You got to roll over on your own kids.
Dude, he gave up like, I don't know, what was it, like 30 huge sentences on guys in exchange for his to get turned around.
Yeah.
So let's see some of that. Give us, I don't know, one from the left, one from the right, just so people stop making it about that. But give us somebody that's just unexpected. Give us somebody that we thought we could trust. Give us somebody that is a leader in some sense of the word, like a true leader. I don't know who. I have one in mind, but give us that.
Disappointing.
But don't make it about you don't like the guy, so you like that's why you want this to happen or don't not happen.
It is. That's all it is. That is what it's about. People can say all day that's not what it's about.
That is
what it's about. You guys are petty, shitty, and yes, I'm pointing the finger at all you people out there who
both sides
who fall into it. Absolutely,
but I do
100%.
Want people on the right to be caught in stuff like this. Because I want the swamp dry. I want the right to be cleaned out. I want it to be what the Christian right is supposed to be. And I said Christian right. That's what I lean towards. That's what I want. But in other words, I don't want people that are trafficking human beings to be part of. I don't want them to be taking money to hide secrets and stuff. But I do want people to realize that just because Epstein maybe didn't have as much information as we would want to find out about someone, about little children getting trafficked, he had information that could possibly be responsible for millions of lives being ended or being preserved. He had information that was bigger than that, like we talked about the other pod. But I have to do this stupid meeting. So yeah, go ahead and give her the deal. I guess maybe a musician said that, but there are conditions. It's very conditional.
Yeah.
Just like everything. It's very, very conditional. And I hope that she's the victim of something again in jail. I think she was once, if I'm not mistaken, but it couldn't have been that bad. But also, don't be fooled by her. Do your cross checking with information you can find, with particularly from government documents, not necessarily from the internet, quote unquote, as a whole. She's very convincing. She is so, like, you listen to her talk and you're like, I trust her. Like I just said about BB. And BB's not that good at making you like him, but I mean, as far as in the conversation, the flow of it, like making you kind of respect what she's saying, and then you start tricking your mind, going, well, what does she have to lose? And so you kind of believe it. She still has things to lose, but I do also believe that, much like Trump, she is narcissistic enough to where she doesn't give a damn about at least a couple of people, so she'll give something up, and we probably won't see it in our lifetimes because they drag everything out so much. But I think that's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about you? All right, and dang it, I had something else I was going to add that I knew would piss people off, but I guess I'll save it for the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.